to another edition of Game Time on NBA TV. I'm Roz Goldenwood. He's Dennis Scott. And 3D, I swear, I can't even sleep without a transaction happening. Okay, so is this wild, crazy summer of moves and transactions ever gonna end?
No, that's not the way it's supposed to be, Rod. It's the summertime, it's free agency, teams are trying to get better, GMs are working in overtime, and for the players who have taken control of their careers, they're trying to wait and see what the best move is for them.
All right, well, earlier this evening, the Raptors took to social media to share this photo of Kawhi with Raptors president Masai Ujiri.
Is he smiling, Rod?
I think it's a smile.
Hey, whoa, come on, Claw.
And it's also GM Bobby Webster, by the way. I'm not sure if that's a smile. It is a...
Or is that a smirk?
He's showing teeth.
Hey,
so that's like more than we usually get from an emotionless Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to take it. I'm going to count it as a smile. And even earlier in the day, Ujiri met with the media for the first time since completing the trade for Kawhi Leonard.
First of all, I want to not only apologize to DeMar DeRozan for maybe a gap of miscommunication, but also to acknowledge him and what he's done here with the Raptors, for this city, for this country. There's no measure to what this kid has done, and we appreciate him, and I promise you that we're going to celebrate him in the best possible way. It's on to another chapter with the Raptors, and we're excited to welcome Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green to our fold. Hopefully, on paper, we feel we have a team that can compete in the East and maybe hopefully compete, to compete for a championship in this league, and that's all we. That's why we play. That's why we play sports, is to win and to compete for a championship. So we're really excited about this, bringing a top 5 player in the NBA into our fold, and hopefully this can elevate us as much as we want.
So first of all, my personal feeling on this is he could have powered through that and just completely not acknowledged DeMar DeRozan. Instead, he did. I found it to be classy that he took that amount of time to thank him, to apologize. Many leaders don't apologize. So he did that as well, and then went on to, all right, we're trying to make the franchise better. I want to ask you, do you buy this apology? Do you think if you were in DeMar's shoes, should he accept this apology?
Yes, no question. If Double D listened to Masai and if he's had a good relationship with him over the years they've been together, yes, you accept that apology. Does it still hurt? Of course, because, you know, DeMar, one of the few guys being drafted by Toronto, always wanted to be there and dove into the community. Now, for fans at home, we say it's just a business because maybe on Monday, Masai didn't want to trade him. But then Tuesday night, Pop called him and said, hey, here's an opportunity to get better. You have to make this move. Yeah. So it's not a slight on DeMar doing something wrong. It's Masai doing his job, trying to make his franchise better. It's just unfortunate that DeMar is in the midst of it.
Right, and it's a bold move.
No question.
Masai is very much respected as one of the top execs in the league. How much is at stake for his reputation with this bold move?
I think his reputation is safe, and people continue to respect what he's doing because at the end of the day, his job is to try to make the Toronto Raptors better. Now, feelings will get hurt from time to time, but that's part of the business. As long as you look at that move and people will say, will the team get better? And obviously the bigger question is, Roz, can you keep Kawhi Leonard in Toronto? Yeah. That's going to be the bigger problem, or should I say the bigger question for the whole we the North to help keep Kawhi there.
Right, and it's not just Masai's job. It's going to be his teammates' job. One guy I think is important is Kyle Lowry, who was homeboys, was besties, was brothers with DeMar DeRozan. So what is the responsibility of Kyle Lowry as a leader of this team to help bring in Kawhi and make this season successful?
He has to remind the basketball world why he was worth that contract 2 years ago. He has to remind the basketball world why he was an all-star. So now when you bring in a guy like Kawhi Leonard, that's the new 1-2 punch. Yes, you have Serge Ibaka there. Danny Green possibly could start or come off the bench, depending on what Coach Nick Nurse wants to do. But at the end of the day, he and Kawhi Leonard need to be on the same page. Kyle Lowry, excuse me.
Okay, and there's more moves happening around the NBA. In other news, new Warrior, DeMarcus Cousins met with the media Thursday. Here's what he had to say.
Just a chance to play for a winning culture. I also have the chance to play with some of the, the most talented players of this era. So, those two things alone, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. Me and Draymond clicked right away. We're two goofballs that, like to joke around a lot, so we clicked right away. Same thing with KD and same thing with Steph. Everybody knows he's a goofball. So, it's a great group of guys, easygoing people. Maybe outside of Draymond, but it's a great group, and I think we'll mesh well.
So one of the questions everybody's talking about with DeMarcus Cousins coming to the Warriors is are all the personalities going to come together and work? I know there was a story out that Draymond hit him up and was like, we're going to have to fight. So do you think these guys are going to fight at some point this season?
No, they will not fight. They will be competitive. I can imagine those practices will be fun to be a part of. But after talking to Steve Kerr and understanding that getting a guy like Cousins, once he gets healthy, everything's going to be fine. And after talking to Bob is real simple. You called Clay, you called Steph, you called KD, you called Draymond. The core four said, yes, we want the big fella. Bring him in right now. You mean tell me, much as we love Zaza, as much as we love JaVale McGee, as much as we love Bogut, they can't compare to DeMarcus Cousins when healthy. Oh, no question, they're going to work out fine. I think being a part of USA basketball and being around Steph and Clay, those type of things has helped their relationship. I think he's going to fit fine.
I happened to be in Brazil for the Olympics, and I remember just how much the guys were joking with each other. It was KD, Clay, and Draymond in Brazil with DeMarcus, and I think that relationship will really help them here. Plus, it's really hard to be a jerk when the best player is really such a sweetheart and really has no ego and acts in a straight line. If he's doing it, everybody else got to fall in line. And KD is a similar type of personality as well.
So when you come to work every day and you see how hard Steph works, you see how hard KD works, you see Draymond lifting weights, you see Clay in his corner, you've been there before. Each guy has their own basket and they're putting in the work. When he sees that, he's going to fall in line to your point.
Isn't it nice when everything comes together that way so nicely?
Yes.
All right, we have more happenings around the league. The Oklahoma City Thunder have agreed to trade forward Carmelo Anthony to the Atlanta Hawks, where he will be waived and become a free agent, multiple outlets reported. Along with Anthony and his $27.9 million expiring contract, the Thunder will send a 2022 protected first-round pick to the Hawks for guard Dennis Schroeder and forward Mike Muscala. The Thunder will then send Muscala to the 76ers for forward Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot, and Philadelphia will send guard Justin Anderson to Atlanta. So, who won with this deal? All right, because was it Melo? Was it the Hawks? Was it the Thunder? Was it the 76ers? Or did everyone win?
Well, one of the few times in a trade in the offseason, I think all teams won here. The Sixers needed to stretch for Muscala. They got that. Melo obviously wasn't going to fit in OKC. Expiring contract, the Hawks needed that. And depending on what you think about Russell Westbrook, maybe Dennis Schroeder and Westbrook can play together at times. I think it's a win-win-win.
Awesome. No losers. Everybody's a winner. I'm a winner. You're a winner.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so more news around the league. According to multiple reports, free agent Michael Beasley has reached an agreement with the Los Angeles Lakers.
And it's going to be interesting what Magic's doing. Rob Pelinka, we know a lot of forwards. They're talking about small ball. Michael Beasley and LeBron James in the Laker uniform. That's be interesting.
It is going to be an interesting season in L.A. All right, well, Yogi Ferrell has agreed to a 2-year, $6.2 million deal with the Sacramento Kings, according to a Yahoo Sports report. And earlier Friday, Ferrell backed out of his agreement with the Dallas Mavericks on a 2-year, $5.3 million deal the two sides had agreed to on Thursday.
Sometimes the emotions don't fit. You got to keep going.
After he is bought out.
The veteran's still alive. I see you, Jared. Believe it, I see you.
Well, when we return, we check in with Sekou Smith about the upcoming USAB training camp in Las Vegas next week. Oh, hey Sekou, how are you?
Roz, how you doing? 3D, what's happening?
All's good.
Oh, we're living over here, and I have a question for you. The question we all want to know, everybody's talking about. Is Kawhi going to go and show up? Do you think he should show up to camp?
I really do. I think, obviously he and Pop are no longer connected, the way they were when he was with the Spurs. So you've eliminated that drama. But now it's about Kawhi showing up and making sure everybody knows that he's healthy and ready to play for Toronto and ready to be a free agent next summer and have that option. And the only lingering thing about Kawhi right now is what is the status of his, physical health? How healthy is he? Is he ready to compete at a high level? There's no better place for him to show it, Roz, than at USAB training camp with, 30-some of the other best players in the world.
So Kawhi Leonard, he has something to prove still. This could be an opportunity for him to show up there. But two guys that we already know are not showing up, LeBron James and Stephen Curry, they will not attend. Is that all good? I know that I've read and heard it won't upset their standing as far as wanting to play with the team, but is that good for a new coaching era with Greg Popovich? And what does that say to the other teammates around? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if it was anybody other than LeBron James and Steph Curry, it might be an issue. Maybe I guess Kevin Durant could get away with that probably. But no, Pop knows these guys. They're entrenched in the USAB program. They've won gold medals before, competed in different events over the years for USAB. If LeBron needs a summer off, I'm sure the staff of USA Basketball is not going to fret about it. If Steph needs to take, this couple-day training camp off, they're going to be understanding of those guys and the commitments they may have had otherwise. Again, if they want to play, they want to be on the World Cup roster, and if they want to be on the Olympic roster in 2020, they're going to have every opportunity to make that team. This won't be held against them.
And Sekou, now we know that Pop's taking over, and we know Coach K did an excellent job with putting his personality on the team. How do you see Pop handling these guys, knowing that he has to compete with them throughout the regular season?
3D, that's a great question. It's the most interesting dynamic they've had since USAB resuscitated itself. They haven't had a coach who had to deal with these guys during the regular season. I think that gave Coach K a really level playing field with all of these players in the national program to kind of decide who would fit at which event. This is going to be different now because they're going to see Pop all year long. You're going to see him throughout the season. If you play in the Western Conference, you're going to see him multiple times. So it's kind of a dual relationship you have with him as a competitor and then as one of the members of the national team. The best part, though, for Pop is that he's got such respect around the league and in basketball circles around the world. I don't think he's going to have any issues blending these guys into a very cohesive unit when it's time to get, the USA across your chest. And the one thing that you got to remember about Greg Popovich, he's coached some of the best already in the NBA and internationally. He's also won a ton. You talk about a guy with 5 championships. If you don't walk into the door and get the respect of those players with that, I don't know what else it would take.
Sekou, who else on the training camp roster has an opportunity to really show out either at camp or at the World Cup?
Well, there's so many guys, Roz, and, with the number of players you have in the player pool, whichever 12, guys you select for that roster are going to ball out. We all know that. But I think Anthony Davis, if you look at where he was in 2012 in London, I was there at the Olympics when he was just a pup. And all the veteran players loved seeing him develop the way he did over the course of that summer. You look up now, all these years later, he's ascended to that level you thought he could, but he's yet to take an international team, one of the USA basketball teams, and really be the man. This could be his summer coming up in 2019 to really assume that number one position on team. Kyrie did it in Spain at the World Cup, and obviously the Olympic team, you got a number of all-stars and superstars out there playing a large role. But for World Cup, I think Anthony Davis could be that guy.
All right, Sekou, thank you for your time and insights. I know they're going to send you out to Vegas More Vegas time. I was just with you at NBA Summer League. Boy, you better have one on the slots or something out there. But thank you for your time. All right,
Thanks,
y'all.
guys. Send money soon. Send money soon.
All right, a couple of games in the W tonight. We check in on the action when we come back.